Unboxings, you say? On YouTube, you say? Really? Well, we're going to do that this week on Vale Craftworks. So I'm Mel. Let's sit down and enjoy the show. At any rate, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an insight into some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes when we're producing videos like this. A lot of times I have to get materials and other things organized, and well, I'll just be honest. It takes a time. It takes a bit. It does take a while to get all that together. So I had put some orders together over the past couple of weeks. None of this, again, was tremendously expensive. And a few of these things came to me because of the fact that I've been doing some work here and there outside to get some of these ordered while I still could at a reasonable price. So, that being said, let's talk a little bit about what I got. I'm going to do a little bit of an unboxing. So, we're going to go ahead and switch to stream. And these are the items that I got. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what they are, and as we would. So the first thing you can see here is a plinth that I got to put models on when I finish with them so that they can rotate. It's a rotating plinth. It comes with an optional power adapter. It also works on AAA batteries. As you can see, I am currently in this particular stage. I'm to give you the play-by-play, unraveling the power cord because I don't know why that seemed important to me. But, this is it. I'm real, and I'm going to let you see everything that goes along with when I make one of these videos. But yes, it does have a handy USB, so you can actually plug it into a USB port on your computer or just this USB socket, and there you're good to go with that pretty much. The next thing that we're going to see here is, I believe, going to be, yes. So we got a bunch of PVC pipes, small PVC pipes in that I can use. Well, these are actually, they're not round. These are actually square, but they're small scale, so I can use them to build onto, buildings that I'm making. I add things onto that, work on custom pieces of models, things like that. These are, of course, styrene. Now, here the greatest thing is, I am still figuring out with the overhead rig that I have. Now, as you'll see, there's going to be much less in terms of the shakiness of the camera. Um, but what I do have here is I do have a problem remembering to put things on camera as I'm taking them off. But there we go. Finally figured it out. This was kind of the thing that defeated me the most. So if you ever want to know what my weakness is as a super villain or superhero, depending upon how you view me, it is bubble wrap. I just thought you should know that. But these are the pipes, as you can see. These are actually, there's about 20 of them there. And they're very small. But I am eternally grateful for that. There's my hairy arm. Yay for hairy arm. And the next thing I think we're going to take a look at is going to be, yes, this is the cardstock I bought. Now, this with the cardstock is for some of the paper models that I've seen, and I'm going to try building a few of those for you and giving you my feedback on what I think of them. Some of them look really great. Now, the other thing I got this week was this. I found a Space Marines Heroes. This is Series 2, and we're going to go ahead and open this. Now, I'm going to tell you ahead of time, this is the same plastic. It's just red plastic that they use to print when they make these. Still injection molded. The quality is really top notch. This does look like it is pretty much a largely snapped together model. This one is a Terminator. I will show you the name in a minute. They do come with a card and some instructions on how to put it together. But yes, Brother Sergeant Victorino or Victorno. Um, and I use a Terminator, and you have two options. You can put the face on it, or you can put a Terminator mask on it, depending upon how you want to build it. Either way, we'll give you an extra bit for your Space Marines kits or other kits in general that you want to do. This is really well. I did look at all the plastic. There was actually no flashing or extra bits, and as far as have stuff that you'd have to carve off or smooth out. I'm looking forward to building that. We'll do that. It's actually in a separate build. Um, for in the future. So this is an upcoming project that we'll do. But I wanted to take a look at these. These are kind of cool. This came in about 17 US. So it's probably one of the more inexpensive Games Workshop's model, and it's pretty good scale. The other thing I got, which we'll see in a moment, is I picked up, yes, Warhammer Conquest, the card game. For some of you that may or may not know, I'm a huge fan of CCGs and LCGs. This one comes with a full deck for the Necrons, which anybody that doesn't know, I am a huge fan of the Necrons. That is the main army I run in Warhammer 40K. Though I do enjoy painting many of the different models just because they're really cool looking. But this is pretty neat. We're gonna do a more in-depth video on this in the future, because CCGs are another hobby that I really enjoy. Legions of Death expansion, and of course, as you see, this comes with the rule sheet, which I'm not going to go into too much here. We have the dial that is available there and how to put it together. Fantasy Flight Games makes amazing card games. The cards are always really good quality, and this does come with all the different personalities and spells and things that you would need to play the game. It's in a really nice box. I really got to give that to you. I didn't really crack anything open here. I just wanted to kind of get a feel for them. And overall, I just really am excited to kind of dig into that a little bit. I'm going to probably put these in sleeves and get them all packed by the time I do a video on them. So we'll check those out in an upcoming episode. There's that. And then there's one more thing that I'm going to show you guys. Well, there's two more things. But the thing that's coming up next here is really neat. I didn't think I was going to get my hands on one of these just because of how quickly Indomitus flew off the shelves. But this is the Warhammer 40K Recruit Edition. And I got this largely because I did some work for a friend this week, and they just actually sent me a gift card, and which I used to get this. So I'm really grateful for the work, but also grateful to have this because this does give me 20 new models. So these are Primaris Space Marines and new Necrons. Looking forward to doing that. Again, we'll do a more in-depth look into that box and everything in there in the future. And of course, now we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up for next week. So you've seen these pictures flashed around this week on my Instagram, as well as these. These are my tavern concepts. And I don't know, I am going to do the floor in that alternating style, so it's going to look really cool when I'm done with this. This is one wall. These are just blank walls. Now, the next one you're going to see is the wall with the windows cut out of it and all the lines for where I want to put in the woodwork. You can see again on the other side because there will be an exterior to this. And this is more of a finished wall. Now here I did something. I'm just going to pause this for a minute. If I can find the pause button. There we go. So where you see me pointing to those windows, I actually did was after I cut that out, I'm using your standard foam core board, and I took the coffee stir strips that I have and I cut them down and I inserted them inside so they were a very snug fit, glue them in place with some Mod Podge, and then coated them with a little bit of Mod Podge to make sure everything kind of stuck. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of acetate that's cut just slightly bigger than the window itself, and I'm going to put some more woodwork using the coffee stir strips around that to hide the edges of the windows and really the edges of the acetate. And I'll put some shutters and some other interesting work on the external wall to do the same. It's going to be a 2-pane window, so you can see out both of these. For now, I'm using it this way. I am looking at getting other or developing other methods to have a kind of like like a I guess a lattice would be the way to put it. A latticed window that I could put in there, but I've got to make those ahead of time. I want to have them kind of pre-cut into the dimensions that I would look at. Now, for frame of reference, these walls, so these sheets are 8 by 10. So when you cut them in half, you get exactly 4 by 10 walls. The way I got this board came, and this was something, again, I spent a little bit more money on, about like $7 for the box, so that I could work with some more pre-cut, pre-measured walls for when I build specific buildings and things like that to use in either an RPG. So this I decided on doing a tavern for use in an RPG. Now, I'm telling you this because this one is the proof of concept one that I'm developing for myself. There are some uneven areas which I will fix when I do the next build. Um, because I may or may not, well, I'm most likely going to have an announcement for you. After I do this build, I don't, there's somebody I want to show this to see if they're interested. If they are, and I do get some, and it's not something I'm doing for profit or anything. It's something I'm doing for me and because I want to do something nice for a bunch of people that have been doing a lot of nice things for a lot of other people out there. But if I get approval for this and they like what my concept is and they like what I'm doing and I have some suggestions that they'd like to see included, I will be building a custom piece for somebody. Now, it's not that I'm opening up myself for commissions because I truly, I do this for fun and it's because something I really love doing. But there are things that I would like to make, to bring some joy and happiness to people too. So I wanted to share that with you. That is going to be coming up, I believe, next week, depending upon how much time it actually takes me to do all of this work. This is also, like I said, I think this is how we're going to do these formatting for this as we go forward. And I really just overall enjoy this process. I enjoyed making this. I'm going to go ahead and cut this here. Go back to the main screen. And I want to thank you all for coming along with me on this little bit of a wild ride as we've been doing these videos. I do enjoy making these as much as I enjoy the hobby itself. I like the complexities of filming, of learning about lighting, of learning about editing. Now, I know I still have some work to do because you could probably still hear me inhaling and exhaling. I know, but I'm working on it. It'll come. But hopefully the quality is better now than it was at the beginning. And I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to kind of spend some time with me here in my shop. I have really thoroughly enjoyed making Vale Craftworks a thing. And as you see now, we have an Instagram. I have my own Twitter account. I'll put the links to those below. As always, if you really enjoyed your time here, you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's free, and it gets the word out there to help us grow. And if you should really want to support, and listen, I say this because it actually does help keep things running. Because while I do love doing this, it can get costly. If you want to support the channel, I do have a Patreon. Feel free to click that. With the Patreon, you get access to me on Discord. I'm building a community there. You also will have access to a wealth of tools that I've put together. Print, stuff that you can print, templates, some 3D access to some, 3D printing files for your own miniatures if you want to build some stuff. Stuff that I get that I can share, I'm happy to share along with some other people. And this is the kind of thing that I try to do as I've been building up, a collection of files and things like that, resources available for even running tabletop RPG campaigns and other things like that. Stuff that I can do. That's the kind of stuff that I can offer, as far as if anybody wants to, sorry about some things in my eye, I think. But if anybody wants to support me on Patreon, there is it's also a method for me to be able to give back to you guys for just showing support in the channel. Really appreciate that. That being said, as always, I hope you're having a good weekend. If you are in one of the areas that were affected by the hurricane, please know that my heart goes out to you. I'm looking into ways of doing some things to support and send some aid down there as well. And stay safe. As always, everybody, please stay safe. And I hope you all do well. Have a great week. I'll see you again next week. Thanks as always. Mel out.